Hey guys, I'm Jim. Today I'm joined with Matt from Liberty Systems.
Hello.
Today we're going to be talking everything nitrogen and nitrogen generation. So little vendor spotlight. Liberty Systems has been a great vendor partner for us for many, many years. If you don't know about Liberty, they make nitrogen generation systems, right? Or,
yes.
Well, probably other stuff too.
Yeah, generators, filtration.
So in the laser cutting process, we use a lot of nitrogen as an assist gas. We're vaporizing the metal and then using nitrogen to blow it out of the way so it doesn't re-weld, basically.
Yeah.
So people don't really think about it. They're thinking about these big, cool lasers. They're thinking about all the cool parts that we make. They're not thinking about what happens behind the scenes, which is where Liberty comes into play. We use a lot of bulk nitrogen, which is liquid. It comes to us in big trailers.
Yep.
But then the big secret that we learned is you also use nitrogen generation, which is kind of free because it comes from the air.
Yeah. I mean, you have to pay for power and maintenance and the initial investment, but it's kind of something a lot of customers forget about because they're looking at the laser, their shop, and then after they get the laser, like, oh yeah, I need gas. So it's like I have to rush into a gas contract or I'm making a last minute decision on a generator. Yeah.
I will tell you, when I bought my first laser, I went to the showroom and it looks just like this, and they don't show you any of the feeding and watering that you have to do with it. And gas is a huge part of that. So
yeah, it's actually the most expensive part to run the laser. I don't know if everyone is aware of that, but selecting the right gas is critical because, you know, if you select a gas that's too expensive, that's going to increase your margins per part. So it's critical you select the right gas for your needs.
Yeah, we actually, right before we started shooting this, I didn't really know how much we spent.
Oh yeah.
And then producer Dom told me that we spend a lot. So it's like $43,000 per month per facility in nitrogen. So at our Reno facility, this is a 5 laser shop. We cut a lot of aluminum, so which jumps up the gas usage.
Yeah.
So $43,000 in bulk. And then our costs on generation have got to be a fraction of that, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, you're spending $43,000 per month. And for the whole year at this facility, for power and maintenance, it's around $50,000.
Okay. Yeah, and so how much did our system cost here?
I mean, I think you guys bought yours about 4 years ago, probably around like $300,000, around that range. Yeah.
So let's say $300,000 to $500,000 initial investment, plus about $50,000 a year in maintenance, and then energy costs. Energy is like one of the bigger costs.
Oh yeah, I mean, what you're paying for, what I see around the United States is your cost per kilowatt. That plays a big role because you're paying for power, the compressor and the booster. So, you know, the national average I see is around 10 cents. Out in the West Coast, you guys are paying a little bit more.
Yep.
So that does play a big role in what you're paying per kilowatt.
Yeah, so really in an ideal world, we would probably be 100% on generation because it's significantly less expensive. But one of the reasons why we don't go exclusively on generation is because we believe a lot in redundancy. We want to make sure that if we do have to take that system offline and do maintenance or whatever, we can keep running. So that's why we have bulk. And then also for surge capacity.
Yeah, so I kind of look at it 2 ways for redundancy. Your guys' setup, you have bulk. And the reason I really like your guys' setup too is, let's say you're cutting stainless and you have a job that comes through and you need a bright, shiny edge, right? Now your nitrogen generator does 99.5% purity. So you're gonna get a gold tint on like thicker stainless. Yeah. But let's just say a customer said, nope, I need a shiny silver edge. You still have that option. You could just run the bulk.
Okay.
So that's a nice option. I always recommend to all customers, if you have more than one laser, even if you have one laser, it's a compressor, it's a piece of equipment. It's gonna go down for maintenance, something might happen. So how much does your downtime cost? I always believe in redundancy and having a backup compressor. That doesn't mean you have to buy another compressor from us. A lot of shops, you may have just bought a couple 100 horsepower of compressors. So if you have enough air, just tap into our system. If our compressor goes down, you can still run our system off your shop air if you meet the pressure, flow, and dew point.
Yeah, for us, we never want, you know, a single 100 horse. I'd rather have 250s.
Yeah.
So that you can either stagger them. Sometimes it works for them to be on and off and cycle with each other, or you can take one offline and do maintenance for a little bit.
Yeah, there's many. Really have to look at like the size of the system, but you can go fixed speed, you can go variable speed, you can do the 50% redundancy. There's many different ways, but it's just really looking at the design of the system and your needs.
Yeah. Regarding maintenance, one of the things that I'll say about Liberty that I'm really happy with is you guys use incredibly high quality components. So it's Kaiser compressors, I don't know what the big towers, where those come from, but
Yeah.
they're super robust and durable.
Yeah. So we're definitely not the cheapest on the block, but what we strive to do is have the best value and support.
Yep.
So we totally understand that we're not the cheapest system, but we want the longest lifespan. So when you look at a lot of generators, you have like the twin towers, right? So they're a big vessel with the beads, but what happens is it's a loose fill. So you might get 3, 5. If you do really good maintenance, you might get 7 years out of that, but you have to replace all those beads in there, right? And that's one of the most expensive part of the system to replace. We say 15 plus years. To this day, I've been with Liberty for 12 years. We've never had to replace the sieve. I mean, if a compressor broke down and dumped oil, that's a different scenario, but having good maintenance, we haven't had to replace the sieve yet.
Yeah, it's good equipment, good quality. Sometimes you're gonna be like, oh man, should I go with something cheap? Versus, I can save a little money here. I will tell you that trying to be cheap at the beginning usually costs you more in the long run. So what's nice too about Liberty is because it's Kaiser compressors, because it's like, well-known fittings and good quality hoses and stuff, if we can't get a tech out, same day, then, any Kaiser repairman can come and help us, or we can go down to, the plumbing place or the hydraulic hose place and get a new hose made or whatever we need.
And we make a lot of hoses. So working with one of your engineers, Drew Miles, he's great to work with, because if he needs specialty fittings or whatnot, we have a shelf. It's not like we market that. But if customers are installing a generator with the laser, we have specialty fittings. We can make hoses in-house. We like you guys to buy the hoses from us because there's certain grade hoses you need to supply gas to the laser.
Yes.
And that's what I see with a lot of customers is they might cut corners, go buy a cheap like rubber hose, and then we get contaminants in the laser.
Yes, I learned, especially with cryo, but if you need a hose to carry something that's very pure at a very high pressure over a very long period of time, you're gonna pay 3 times or 10 times more than what you expect. You go to the hydraulic place and you're like, hey, I need a chunk of hose. But to get the spec'd one out correct, it's gonna be really expensive.
Oh yeah.
It's 1,000,000 times worth it. Take it from me, I cheaped out a few times. And I was like, it's a hose, who cares? You run into like optics issues, you run into hoses blowing, you run into like brittle fatigue issues.
I would say one of the most important things is clean gas, whether it's oxygen, nitrogen, mixed gas, dry air. You want that gas really clean going into the laser because you have long lines that are running through that laser, you have optics. And if you think about like your glasses right now, you see through it. If they're fogged up, if you have dirt in it, you can't see. Now think of your eyes like as the beam. You don't have that heat going through it. So we want to make sure that we have really clean gas.
You can save $100 on a hose, or then you'll spend $1,000 on lenses and mirrors. So contracts versus generation, because we have facilities, across the U.S., we pay different prices at different facilities.
Yeah.
So as low as like 40, 45 cents in Texas.
Yeah, which is unheard of.
Per 100 cubic feet, right? That's how the industry. So let's say 45 cents in Texas per 100 cubic feet. And then in Reno, we're paying like $1.50, $1.50?
Yeah, $1.56, yeah.
$1.56. Where does generation, what's the sweet spot?
In the prices, it really comes down to what you're cutting. Okay, so let's just say you're cutting one shift, one laser, part of one shift. That's where does a nitrogen generator really make sense? I would say maybe, maybe not. It's always good to do a cost analysis. I advise all customers when you get in a laser, do your gas study, right? If it doesn't make sense now, Liberty is definitely the first company to say, hey, don't get a generator unless there's other reasons. I would say get a bulk tank, make sure you sign a good contract. That's one thing, always look at these contracts. And then maybe 3 years from now, you add another laser, you're cutting thicker material, my flow rate goes up, I'm using more, I'm spending more, now let's look back into generation. But when you're getting into I would say one laser, 2 shifts, yeah, it starts to make sense. 2 lasers, 1 shift, absolutely. 2 lasers, 2, 3 shifts, yes, generation.
I would also say that it depends on your geography and your location. So sometimes if you're out in the boonies, shout out to Paris, Kentucky, it's the most beautiful place in the world, but they're kind of far from everything. It takes us a while to get that bulk, into that small town. Even in Reno, I think a lot of our bulk is actually being made in Boise, which is 6 hours away, something like that. And when we get snow or whatever, we can be delayed on bulk. So that's where the nitrogen generation systems really pay for themselves, is to be able to make it right there instead of
and understanding all that redundancy. I believe that we do build the best systems in the industry, but I don't care if we build the best systems or not. adding a backup compressor, a backup booster, or tying your shop air.
Yeah, it's at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, how you structure it, what partners you go with. You have to serve your customers, and the customers, they're very demanding, and so you have to have redundancy. And for us to have the best redundancy, we go with the best possible equipment and the best possible strategy, which is usually backups on backups on backups on backups.
Yeah.
We're supposed to talk about upfront capital investment with a generation system versus bulk systems.
Okay.
So, I would argue they're kind of similar, because when I've signed bulk contracts, it's a multi-year contract it's worth a lot of money when you sign.
Yeah, and here's how I kind of look at it is, let's just say it's tight right now, we don't have the budget for a generator.
Yeah.
You can look at it like a monthly expense, right? If bulk's gonna cost me $5,000 a year, right? And if I were to take a loan out on the generator and it costs me $2,000 a month, right? So $5,000 a month for bulk nitrogen, $2,000. And then we also add the power and maintenance. If I'm $4,000 or $5,000, I'm almost a break even, but now I own that equipment too. Rather than, what do you own after the gas contract?
Yeah,
right?
nothing.
Besides the invoices.
Yeah, yeah. Also, with those gas contracts, they try and really lock you down.
Oh yeah, I recommend to all customers, you're gonna get a sweet price right when you sign that contract. Look at it 6 months from now. Look at it a year from now, because your accountants are paying those bills, but you don't realize those gas costs are going up.
Well, and think about what is first right of refusal and expansion clauses too. So I know in one of our early contracts, we signed it because we were desperate. But when we started getting into it, they're like, oh no matter where you go, if you expand your building or whatever,
that blows my mind.
No,
that in that contract, if I open up another building, I still have to stay with them.
Yes.
With that contract. And if I want to get a generator, have you seen that in the contract?
Oh yeah, we've seen that too.
You can't generate your own.
They're we don't want you to generate, or if you need to generate, you have to give them first dibs. There's all kinds of weird clauses to look for in those contracts, and then it leaves a bad taste in your mouth too, because I'm just I'm buying gas from you guys. Can you give me gas? And then they're doing all this weird legal gymnastics to try and lock me in. Sketchy stuff. All right, so that's a brief overview of how we work with Liberty, especially Liberty versus gas and the financials. So feel free to check out Liberty Systems. They've been a great partner for us, and we'll actually cover them a little more in future episodes. So thank you, love you, bye.